My bad, everybody. As always, right? We want to make sure that we start our day off by taking massive action. The action stands for accepting all possible losses before entering a trade, preparing you for any outcome, centering yourself, body, mind, and spirit, and ensuring a balanced approach to trading, trusting your education, strategy, trade skills, and intuition. Imagine your trade successfully materializing, obeying your trading strategy, avoiding decisions based on greed or fear, and never looking back or stopping once your trade has commenced. All right. So um, I am happy to be back. It's been an interesting week, but glad to be back with you guys. If everybody can hear me okay, drop me one in the chat. Okay, cool. Just making sure. Um, Give me one more second, please. All right. My apologies. Glad to be back. Appreciate it. It's been an interesting week, filled with new challenges and unknowns and tons of things. So glad to be back. I am still working on getting updated on everything. So that'll be what today is. Um, if you guys would bear with your boy for a little bit. But um yeah, so we'll take a look at the fundamentals. And then I gotta update my charts. So if you guys are willing to flow with me a little bit, as I go through things, I haven't had a chance before last night and this morning to look at charts all week. So I got to get updated on where everything is. So if you guys are cool with that, let's get rocking. UK GDP back to growth. The British economy expanded 0.4% month over month in May, after stalling in April and beating forecast 0.2% of a 2% increase. Um, Retail and wholesale trade bounced back, manufacturing rebounded, and construction grew at its fastest rate in almost a year. So this kind of is in line with the article that Benny posted last night about the BOE signaling concerns. I can't see my screen. All right, one second. Let me see what we got here. My bad. Let's try this. Can you guys see now? Cool. Appreciate it. This is in line with somewhat in line with what Benny posted yesterday. Concerns over inflation and a persistently tight labor market. Um, so the data is kind of coming out to support that feeling, if you will, right? So it'll be interesting to see how the data continues to come out of the UK, and if that supports more of a cautious approach as the BOE moves forward. All right. We got CPI today, and the U.S. inflation rate is projected to slow for a third month. Be the lowest since January if it does fall to 3.1% compared to 3.3 in May. So that's where eyes are pointed right now, looking to see what that CPI number is, um, and see if it supports Jerome Powell's testimony or not. Right. Um, some of the comments that I was able to read through is not ready to signal that inflation is under control. Still need more time. Kind of that same narrative that he's had for a while. Excuse me. Even though a lot of investors are looking at are saying that the CPI data will support uh, earlier rate cuts for the U.S. So we'll see what that looks like at 8:30. Then you have Brent crude. It rises on falling U.S. stockpiles, rose to 85 and a half a barrel on Thursday, going for a second straight session. Larger than expected drawdown in U.S. crude inventories. So oil is still moving to the upside, but chart wise is kind of lingering a little bit. And then Australia inflation expectations marginally ease. So expecting inflation to ease a bit. That's the expectation anyway, in Australia. So over to the calendar. Um, Here's that day that we talked about, right? GDP up. Core CPI data coming in at 8:30. And then we also have Musalam, FOMC member speaking, member Bostic speaking at 11:30 and 1 o'clock. Bond auction at 1:01. And then tomorrow we got PPI data for the dollar. So inflation data that is needed. So we'll watch and see how that information comes out. That's just a brief look at the fundamental side. Are there any questions or have you guys seen anything that you guys want to make me aware of? No, no. All right. Cool deal. So let's hop over to the charts. Like I said, I got some updates to do, started going through some, but DXY coming back down, right? Coming back down. We had this bit of a stall here, and now we got this retracement. Um, as we wait for CPI data, right? So DXY pulling back. This is on the dollar, I mean on the daily chart, coming back into the zone here. I will daily support here. Coming back to the support level. So we'll watch and see what happens if we're able to hold here and turn back to the upside, or if we break this level and continue moving down back to 103.56. Okay. um, yeah, so that's where we are, right? Sitting at a level of support. We'll see if that level holds or if we move back to the upside. Down on the 4, this is what it looks like here. So our third time approaching the support level after breaking it, right? So we want to watch that and see in line with the data to see if it holds, pushes back to the upside, or breaks and continues moving to the downside. Okay, so that's the DXY. Let's start. I'm going to start with the Aussies and work my way down. So let's see. Weekly time frame. Support there. Come into the daily. This is the zone I was watching previously. We got stochastic in the sell zone sitting right at 80%. Price pushing into this 118 and 127 zone on the daily. We'll adjust. We'll take that level out. We'll leave that weekly 92,315 as a resistance. I know I got a daily resistance here, but see if we push that 92,315. So the 80-20 on the daily time frame, come down to the 4. And that's that previous level. There we go. So resistance there. Okay, that's that 118 and 127 zone. Okay. So 80-20 on the 4 as well. We're pushing into that zone that we're looking for. And we'll see if we continue to stall here and get an opportunity to move back to the downside. Um, yeah. So 80-20 on the daily, 80-20 on the 4. It's just stalling in that zone. Now down on the one, we got room to push to the upside to get to the D extension. So this will be interesting to see if we get some weakness out of the Aussie and see if this comes back down to the downside here. So I'm going to be tracking this one off of the 4, looking for this 80-20 here, right? If we stay below 92,315. If we break this level, then I'll look for price to get to the D extension and I'll look for a reset. Okay. Excuse me. So that's the Aussie CAD. Any questions here? No. All right. Cool deal. Aussie Swiss. This has been a beautiful move. Um, Looking off the daily, right? Came just shy of that support level, 58,522, 50% retracement, and it's just been up, right? You had the Swissy initially with the surprise rate cut, then they came back with another rate cut. Um, so running long against the Swissy, which makes sense from a fundamental perspective. And honestly, looking for that to continue. Got a D extension. Got a D extension at 615.84. So maybe we get a pullback, retest previous resistance here, and then continue to the upside. All right, we got stochastic in the sell zone here. And we got some indecision in the market there. So we come down to the 4. This is that original move to the upside, right, from a daily perspective. But here on the 4, shallow retracement 118, 127 zone. Make sure. Yep. Okay. I'm gonna pull this off. Okay. So got an 80-20 here on the 4. Price is trying to create a swing high here on the 4-hour. Let's see if we get price to move back down to the downside here. Um, See if we get a retracement and then a continuation long. Something like that. So that's on the 4. See what we got on the 1. Similar deal on the 1, right? So we got some support here. So we'll obviously see what happens, but we got 80-20 on the 4 and 80-20 on the 1. We'll see if we get price to turn over and give us this retracement for a low price. Going back to the daily time frame, I'll switch back over there, but price has been just moving to the upside, right? So at some point, a retracement will come, right? And so the question is, will this be the retracement that'll give us a low price to get back long? Okay. So boom. So there we are. That's what I'm looking for here. Um, right. Come back to the daily. Just been straight up, like no retracement at all. So what I'd like to see is just a retracement to come, give us a low price, and then give us that opportunity to continue to the D extension there. Um, Yeah, I'm definitely going to take a look at that as well, Reese. That's one that's been on my radar uh, for a couple different reasons. But yeah, we'll definitely take a look at that. So that's where I am on the Aussie Swiss. Look for this retracement to come here. Any questions? Nope. All right.
No question.
Cool deal. Okay. So 1 second. Look at my notebook. Aussie Swiss. Okay. All right. So let's keep rocking. Aussie yen. No relief. Monthly time frame. We're getting ready to hit this D extension at 111,486. All right. Broke all-time highs. I don't even know if we get a retest and a continuation. We might just continue running to this level. Um, and just getting caught up. I haven't seen anything regarding, obviously the dollar yen pulled back a little bit, but I haven't seen anything regarding Bank of Japan talks very much. So um, yeah, these will continue moving in this direction. So here on the weekly, got a weekly D extension at 110, and that's that monthly D extension. So definitely expecting price to push into this range and close both of these fibs out here, right? And just looking at this, right? Looking at it from a fundamental perspective, nothing has changed, right? And so in theory, we should have been long on this the whole time, right? There's 2,000 pips to the upside. Um, and fundamentally, things have ultimately, right, been the same. We've had pullbacks in between, but even with the Bank of Japan changing their rates, right, which happened here, it was just a slight pullback to retest previous resistance levels and continue moving to the upside. Right. So from a weekly perspective, there was zero reason for us to look short, right? And this is me talking to myself. Because fundamentally nothing has changed. So, and until it does, right, my sentiment has shifted to more of pullbacks and continuations, right? Um, and so as we come down here, we have an 80-20 on the daily time frame, right? Even if we push into this push into the weekly and monthly D extension, right? We'll still be in that 118, 127 zone, but we're going to need something to change fundamentally, be it us going to a risk off environment or Bank of Japan to do something at the end of the month. But even still, I'd be looking for a pullback retest of 107.87 and then potentially continuation north, right? So this one, not expecting tons of movement. We are in the sell zone on stochastic, um, just above 80%. So 80-20 there. We'll watch and see what happens here. Okay. On the 4, once we get to this weekly D extension, we'll be at that 4-hour D extension as well. Okay. So boom. So that's where we are there. So that fib will close out. That'll be completed. Let me take these out. These are broken, no longer valid. I'm gonna keep that all-time high level there, just as a point of reference, but looking for price to continue moving to the upside. And then down on the one, we do have an 80-20 here. Price is trying to turn over, so we'll see if we get this pullback or not. But like I said, right, looking for price to come here. So I'll watch this. Pull this out. Um, I need additional confirmation here. Oops. Let's see. Just want to bring my trend lines through. If I get a trend line break here, I'll look to play the 80-20, right? But ultimately, I'm looking for a low price to get long. We got a swing high here on the one, right? But I need a trend line break because we could just bounce off this trend line and continue pushing north. So that's where I am on the Aussie yen. Questions here? Anybody think differently? No? All right.
No question.
We'll do. Appreciate it. Let's see if we get that TP2 level there. Yeah, see if we get that action. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Cool. So that's Aussie yen, Aussie NZD. Wild. So weekly time frame. Look at that. Just straight up and down. I got to go back and read Benny's thoughts on the New Zealand dollar. Um, but the expectation was for them to hold rates, right? And you see price just ran against. So I'm interested to see what happens here. We're breaking this monthly resistance level as well. So we could continue long. We could see a break, retest, and continuation to the upside here. Um, we'll watch and see. I got to get caught up on the New Zealand dollar though to see what's happening there and why the weakness. So we do that. We'll bring this level down. Take those out. Come here to the daily. 8-6 retracement. Boom. Beautiful move long. We do have a stochastic in the sell zone. So that'll be something for us to watch as well. And then at some point when we get a swing high, we'll look at that. We'll see what that new fib looks like. Right. But this is a beautiful example of an 80-20 scenario. We just looked at 382 there. Let me see something. Yeah, that fib is off. Okay. We just looked at 382 there, but so it wasn't technically it wasn't an 80-20, but beautiful retracement, right? Deep level and then a push to the upside. So beautiful ABCD wave sequence here. And so now we look for a reset and same thing to occur. So at some point we'll get a retracement, right? And then if the Aussie continues to be strong, right? Um, if inflation still continues to be an issue, could see this just pull back in continuation. But we'll watch that. Um, all the extra stuff out. Need this stuff. There we go. So here we are on the 4. Right. So here on the 4, you see the break and retest, and we're trying to push to the upside. So we'll watch this and see where price moves, right? But we could see this just continue to rise, at least in the short term. Okay, so we'll watch and see if we push into that 118, 127 zone. And if price stalls out, that could give us an opportunity for a retracement coming back to the 618 level, taking back a decent portion of that bullish action, right? And then getting us a low price to get back long. So let's see if we push into this 118, 127 zone here. We'll just sit and watch that one. Okay. Down on the 1, D extension achieved there, right? Just blew straight through everything. So be patient here and we'll watch that one. So not a ton there. Questions on the Aussie New Zealand? Nope. All right. Cool.
No.
Cool deal. Aussie dollar. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. So we finally broke out of that range and we're pushing to the upside. We got some indecision now, though. We could head to 68,985. What am I looking for here? Interesting. So we'd have to break that level. Let's watch this and see. This will be interesting to see what happens here. But we could continue to head long, especially if CPI data comes in below expectation or even at expectation. Um, Investors are really leaning into that. So let's watch that and see what happens there. From a daily time frame perspective, broke out of that range, broke that daily resistance level. Take that out, and now we're here, right? So support there. Stochastic is in the sell zone, but right, we're pressing long. So let's watch and see if we stay inside this AB boundary on the daily time frame. All right, that's going to be key. So I'm sitting tight, just allowing price to do what it's going to do. See if we get a deeper move inside the AB boundary and get to that monthly resistance level. Um, Fed says they're not ready yet, but if the data continues to support the investors, um, we could see price continue to drive. So let's watch and see here. Come down to the 4. Clean this up as well. Let's see. All right, so that D extension is achieved, and we'll look for a new AB boundary to come in here. All right, so we'll watch that part. And maybe we push into this 118 and 127 zone. So we'll watch price action there. But that also kind of supports more bullish action here. As we talked about on the daily. So Let's watch and see what happens here. This will be interesting. Come down to the one. We do have an 80-20 on the one. Okay. Let's watch here. I'm going to run trend lines to the upside on this. Let's watch and see what happens here, right? With that CPI data, maybe we get a pullback to retest that level. Yeah, this will be interesting to see what the data comes out as. It will, it will, it will. Drop the cloud on also. Okay, cool. So potential 80-20 on the Aussie dollar. We do have data coming out, so we'll watch this here. But this could run to the upside. So adding additional confirmations on that one as well. Let's see what happens. Questions on the Aussie dollar? Oh,
Nope.
so overall, we got potential retracement opportunities on the Aussies. Um, we'll see if they come through. We'll see if they come through. Uh, CAD Swiss. Ultimately, we're moving long. All right, we've been looking at this and watching this one for a while. Just looking at the overall movement here, and you see coming off these all-time lows, right? We got a nice pullback here, and now we're continuing to the upside. Move that weekly support there. So if we run a fib off this level here, we took that A out, and now we got a new sequence. Just like that Aussie Swiss and the other Swiss pairs, I'm looking for this ultimately to continue moving against the Swissy. Even with the back and forth in Canada, I still see this moving to the upside here. So we'll watch that and see. But that's from a weekly time frame perspective. Coming down to the daily, we hit a D extension on the move down, and then we reversed. So we'll run our fib like that. Okay. 80-20 scenario, retracement, deeper retracement. Now we've turned over and we're pressing back to the upside. Right. So now we're in the C to D leg, got some consolidation here, but ultimately looking for this to continue moving to the upside to get us to at least this 67,198 level. Okay. So that's the long-term look. Coming down to the 4. It's been bullish, right? Been bullish. So I'm gonna take that off. That off as well, right? So just looking for this to continue moving to the upside, right? We already got through TP2, but definitely some continuation opportunity here as we move along. Okay, so we'll watch that and see if we're able to continue moving there. Down on the 1, deep retracement, trend line break, moving to the upside. We're pulling back now, but ultimately going to look for price to move back. My bad. What do I have happening here? I just realized my charts are different. Um, That's interesting. Let me change this. That was weird. Why don't I have the same fib here? I'll fix it later. Anywho, right? 4 hour. That's the movement. Nice pullback, retest the level. Now looking for price continue to the upside. So we come down to the one. And here we are. Biases to the upside here. Okay. So I'm looking for the C to D move here. This is what I'm looking for. Maybe we push deeper in the zone, but ultimately I'm looking for price to turn over and move back long. So I was originally in this one to the upside, and my take profit level was hit. And so now I have a low price. Oh, Joy. I'm tripping. I'm tripping. Um, Now we got a low price. So I'm gonna look for this one to continue moving to the upside. So let's and I'm actually gonna take this one right now. 65700. Big profit level 66286. All right, cool. So that's what we're looking at on the CAD Swiss. Any questions here?
No.
No. All right, cool deal. Okay.
Actually, could you possibly just go out to that time frame that you was just on? It was the 4 hours. It was 1 hour. Yeah.
Well,
Um, if possible, could you run the cloud on that?
yeah, yeah. So pop it in there. There you go.
Ah, excellent,
All right. So
excellent.
nice break here. All right. Pull back into the cloud, take off, and I will pull him back, retesting that cloud again. All right. So still bullish to the upside.
Right. Okay.
Yep. So let's see. Let's continue to watch that.
All right. Thank you for that.
You're welcome, Tyrone. Benny, good morning, bro.
Ryan, good morning, sir. Good morning, everybody. How you doing, Ryan?
I am doing all right, man. Doing all right. Glad to be here, dude. How are you?
Oh man, doing pretty good.
Good, good. I know you've been on the go this morning, but anything top of mind for you fundamentally or chart wise?
Oh man, just you got the big data today, CPI data.
Yeah.
For the US, that's the biggest thing. It's good to see that this morning. Looking at trading economics, that the UK is back to growth, right? But we've been projecting, a bullish move on the pound, which has gotten long, right?
Hmm.
Across the board for the most part on the pound. So that kind of fell right in line with some of the data and things that we were reading. coming out of the UK. So that's good. You know, it's always good to have it right when you can, right, in the
Right,
markets.
right.
But the main thing again is just because that CPI for the US is going to affect everything, right? So you don't get a lot of movement, you know, until that report comes out. So looking forward to that today. So we can get back to some volatility, hopefully.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Cool deal. Appreciate you, dude.
Yep.
All right. So let's keep sliding. Cadian. Let's see. Still north. Broke that level, so we'll take this. We'll adjust that there. But long, right? We got all-time high here, 125, 629. We'll probably get there, right? And then we'll see 133 is a ways away, but at least 125, 629. So with that being said, what does that look like? So weekly time frame, it looks like an 80-20 on the weekly. Okay. So we'll watch that there. Coming down to the daily, I already got a 382. That's a D extension on the daily, right? So we already got a pull back to retest previous resistance, and we're pushing back to the upside. We got stochastic pushing down into the buy zone. So look for this to continue making its way to the upside here. Okay. Um, yeah. Yeah. So if we get an opportunity on the lower time frames for a pullback, um, we'll look for that and look for if we get an opportunity to get in this long on the lower time frames. I'll take it. There are trend lines to the upside. Okay, so that's on the daily. Let's go down. The extension achieved on the 4, right? This break and retest Benny talked about, and then look at that. $585 pips to the upside. Wild. Intervention. Takeoff. Wild. So yeah, so that's where we are on the 4. We'll get a new fib. Look something like that at some point, right? And so we'll see price push into that range. So not expecting much of a pullback on this if it comes. And if it does, then that's cool too. But it'll just be a low price to get back long. So when we come down to the 1, take all of this out. And I'll run fibs to the upside. Just missed that 118 level there. But if we pull back to retest this level, 117,354, and if that level holds, then I'll look to buy this. So that's it on the Cadian. That's it. That's all I see. That's all I got there. Um, all right. Questions on this one?
Nope.
Nope. All right. Cool deal. I want to pop down, take a look at this Euro NZD Reese was talking about earlier. And we're pushing back north, right? The support level held. weekly support held, turned back over, and we're headed back to the upside. So we got a double bottom here, pushing back long. So I'll be interested to see how far north this goes. Um, Benny, did you ever, and we're talking about yesterday, for the New Zealand dollar, did you ever get any more insight on why the market is so dovish on the NZD?
Yep, I posted a blog post about it in the community. I put the link in there. They pretty much did a total 180 in regards to the potential for rate cuts in the near future. So their rhetoric changed. They took more of a dovish tone coming out of that last meeting. So they held rates, but the tone changed, right, in regards to the forward guidance, where we were looking at uh, cuts really not occurring until 2025, but now they've opened the door for rate cuts a lot sooner. So the
Uh-huh.
market definitely, you know, the market reacted to it. So definitely a change in the rhetoric in regards to the forward guidance. So more dovish, right? Whereas before it was super hawkish. So that's what happened. So that's why we're seeing the reaction that we're seeing.
Gotcha. Well, then that makes sense. This move makes sense. Um, mm, 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 mm. Yeah, this makes sense then. So we'll see how far this runs. This could continue then to push at least back to 182, but maybe even further than that. Um, so to the daily, and this kind of plays into your longer term thought from a few months ago, but looking at this moving to the upside. And so if that stays the narrative, then we could see this ultimately continue running long, right? We got a 382 here on the daily, pushing to the upside. All right, we come down to the 4, and we got a larger fib on this one, right? And so Benny's been talking about this for a long time, the 786 retracement, looking for this to continue to push north, right? And so that change in narrative could be that catalyst to move this all the way, right, to the upside there. So we'll watch when we get back to these daily resistance levels, but headed back north. Okay. Um, so we'll watch that as it progresses. We come down to the 1, and this is what Reese was talking about. Strong bullish action, pushing into the 118, 127 zone. Okay. So what we could see, pullbacks and continuations, right? With that change in narrative, that's ultimately what we're looking for, is just going to continue moving north. Because that's the fundamental change. Okay. So here's the 80-20 that Reese has his eye on the 1. We'll drop down to the 30 and look at it there as well. But we'll be looking for is a pullback. We'd love to see it push into the 618, 786 retracement zone, right? Which it could, just based on the candles and the price action here, right? But looking for a retracement and a continuation. Retest that trend line and then see if we get that action. So here's the 80-20 on the Euro NZD on the 1. Appreciate that, Benny. On the 1, 80-20 opportunity to the downside. All right. And if you're just trading C to Ds, trading with the trend, then you're looking for a low price to get long. Okay. So that's on the 1. Let's go to the 30. Reese, you still primarily trading on a 30-minute time frame? There's your 80-20 on the 30. Very similar to that one. Okay. $30 and 1. Okay, for sure. There we go. Cool. Questions on the Euro NZD? No?
No.
Boom. And we could push deeper here as well, right? We could push into the 78686 range, which would be fine, right? And maybe even retesting at 176,223 as support level, and then turning and flipping back to the upside, right? So don't be surprised if this A gets taken out and then price turns over and just continues to run long. Okay, so we got higher time frame stuff working here as well. So don't be surprised if you see that. But there we go. Okay. But a couple 80-20s that we looked at this morning. I want to take a quick peek at this pound Aussie. So last week, I believe we were talking about this one in the back and forth, right? So this daily support held. And now we're turning back over and pushing back to the upside. So we'll see if we're able to break 191. So this crown pattern is still intact. So this bullish crown, right? Inversion here. We'll see if we're able to get some legs and move this back to the upside with some of the positive data coming out of the UK. Right? And then ultimately just getting a higher price to then get short. We do have a stochastic in the sell zone here. Okay, so come down to the 4. You see that double bottom clearly there. And there's your turnover. All right. And so here on the 1, we're just pushing to the upside. Previous 80-20 didn't play out. Price ran to the support level and then turned over. Let's see. 618 retracement took its time, but now it's moving out of the zone. So look for this one. We'll see what happens at 190, 138, right? But overall, I'm long on this, right? And this is a position I've been sitting in for a while, but I am long on this. And we'll see if we break that level, then that'll give me some more confidence for a longer term move. But looking for this to continue moving to the upside here. Cool. That falls in line. Questions on anything that we covered this morning? I know it was more of an update for me than you guys, but I appreciate you guys kicking it with me as I get updated on everything. No questions.
No questions.
Cool deal. Benny, anything before we wrap it up, bro?
No, not other than we've got major data coming out this morning in the U.S. for the CPI. That's the main thing that I'm focused on. So I'll be looking for something to be posted in the community once that data is released.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We'll keep our eyes peeled. All right, good people. Glad to be back. We'll be back at it tomorrow morning, 6:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for the pre-New York session. We'll see what happens throughout the day today. And got the accountability group, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight inside of the community. We will see you then. Peace.